So Wladimir Klitschko knocks out a pie in the 5th round. Sorry, knocks out Alex Leapai in the 5th round. I can't get that Shannon Briggs quote out of my head, man. You fighting the pie. You fighting the pie. No disrespect, but that shit is funny, man. So yeah, Klitschko wins in the 5th round. Was the fight I expected. Was the fight everyone should have expected who has any sense. A horrible, horrible mismatch. This was probably the 2nd worst mismatch I've ever seen in a heavyweight title fight. And it's no coincidence that the worst mismatch I ever seen in a heavyweight title fight also involved Wladimir Klitschko. And that was Klitschko against Jean-Marc Mormek. Horrible, 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 horrible. Klitschko just used Leapai as target practice. Leapai was, as I expected, too slow. Terrible coordination. Very poor head movement. Just a sitting duck for Klitschko to just tee off and do whatever the hell he wanted. I don't even remember Leapai landing a punch. Certainly not a head punch. I don't think he landed a head punch in the whole fight that I can remember. Terrible, horrible one-sided beating that Leapai took. Leapai, you know, he showed toughness. He was trying his best, but he just don't have any kind of ability at world level, certainly. And it's still a mystery to me how in the hell this guy got a title shot. How in the hell he got put in an eliminator for a title shot against Denis Boytsov, who Boytsov himself ducked out of fights with Tyson Fury and other fighters, and he still managed to get put in a final eliminator against Alex Leapai. I don't understand how Alex Leapai versus Denis Boytsov could have possibly been a final eliminator for the heavyweight title. Don't make no sense to me. That sounds like funny business is going on with the governing bodies that are making a fight like that. You trying to tell me those are the 2 best contenders? Please. And you got other guys out there like Kubrat Pulev fighting eliminator after eliminator, and he still can't get a title shot. Yet Leapai wins 1 fight against pretty much a hype job in Denis Boytsov and gets an immediate title shot? Really? Okay. So it is what it is. It was a terrible, one-sided, horrible, horrible fight. Leapai totally overmatched. But the bizarre thing about this fight is that the arena was packed out. I mean, what is wrong with these German boxing fans? The arena was packed out to watch Wladimir Klitschko beat up a UPS driver. And I'm not being disrespectful because Alex Leapai is actually a UPS driver. And again, you know, big up Alex Leapai, he still got in there and tried his best and whatever, and he's trying to feed his family, so I can't hate on a man for that. But in terms of Wladimir Klitschko and the German fans, I mean, what was this all about? Like, it baffles me that he can take on someone so overmatched and still get this level of support, and the crowd were loving it. This wasn't even slightly competitive, but yet the crowd were loving it. I mean, don't they want to see Wladimir Klitschko actually fight a competitive fight? Another disappointing thing about this fight is that Steve Holdsworth was not commentating on Eurosport. They had some other guys in there, Richie Woodall and some other guy. And I guess, and I think this is a pretty shrewd assumption, but I guess they didn't want Steve Holdsworth cracking too many jokes and, you know, being a little bit cheeky about the fighters with so many extra viewers watching, because this was definitely one of the biggest fights Eurosport has had in recent memory. So I guess they didn't want to take a risk with Steve Holdsworth saying anything that could be interpreted as disrespectful, because Steve Holdsworth he's a funny guy. I was disappointed that he wasn't commentating. And Tyson Fury was in the studio afterwards, and he basically said, why don't Wladimir fight a real fighter? You know, enough of fighting these UPS drivers and whatnot. Fight a real fighter, someone that's as big as you, someone that can fight at long range, someone that can actually give you a challenge. And I couldn't agree more. And I'm not sitting here saying necessarily that Tyson Fury would beat Wladimir Klitschko, but he'd sure as hell do a hell of a lot better than Alex Leapai. That is for damn sure. Any of the, you know, major contenders out there would do a hell of a lot better than Alex Leapai. You know, from Kubrat Pulev to Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Brian Jennings, any of these guys would do better than Leapai. Even Steve Cunningham would do better than Leapai. This was horrible, people. Absolutely horrible. And like I say, it can't be a coincidence. I mean, what does it say when Wladimir Klitschko has been involved in the two most one-sided heavyweight title fights in probably the past 30 years? He's been involved in two of those. What does that say? That either says that the division is terrible, or that somehow Wladimir ends up in the ring with these horrendously overmatched opponents. God knows how. I don't know. It's depressing, man. It's depressing. Let's see Wladimir Klitschko in the ring with some real competition. Please not Shannon Briggs. Because Shannon Briggs was actually sitting ringside. And the more and more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, you know what? Briggs might be on the Klitschko payroll after all, man. They might be just bringing in this guy to run off his mouth, and then Klitschko gets another easy payday maybe in September or October against Shannon Briggs. I hope I'm wrong, but wow, it's really starting to look like it now. And you can expect Shannon Briggs at a post-fight press conference. I hope I'm wrong about that. Also, Manuel Char was there, so you never know, man. Maybe Manuel Char get a fight, but Char will definitely put up a better performance than Leapai, that's for sure. Char's a lot better than Leapai. Anyway, you can tell I'm depressed. Horrible, horrible fight. Drop your comments below and cheer me up. This is Hatman, I'm out.